Hi, welcome to our channel Programming of Mind, where we accelerate your knowledge with concise, from high-value book summaries. Let's begin. The beginning of the journey, awakening the soul, expanded. The story begins with a sense of profound searching, which is often the root of many spiritual journeys. From the very beginning of life, we are conditioned to chase after external achievements, be it in the form of academic accolades, career success, or societal validation. However, deep inside, some of us feel a sense of emptiness. We wonder whether there is more to life than the daily routines and transient pleasures we chase after. Ravi, the boy at the heart of this story, grew up in a village nestled in the heart of India. The village was quiet, with a rich cultural heritage, where people were connected to their land and religion in ways that could feel both comforting and constricting. From a young age, Ravi was different. While other children played and engaged in the day-to-day activities of village life, Ravi found himself turning inward. He asked questions that made adults uncomfortable. Why was life the way it was? Why did people suffer? Why was there so much injustice and pain in the world? Was there more to this life than simply being born, growing up, and dying? Ravi's questions about life seemed to hang in the air like unanswered echoes. His family, well-meaning but focused on their traditional life, had no answers for him. His teachers at school were more interested in imparting knowledge on mathematics, history, and literature, subjects Ravi found practical but unfulfilling. The turning point in Ravi's life came one afternoon when he saw something that would forever change the trajectory of his life. As the sun began to set, Ravi was walking through the village when he noticed a figure sitting under a large tree. The man appeared to be elderly, but his face was serene, almost glowing with an otherworldly calmness. The villagers told Ravi that this was a wandering saint known for his wisdom and spiritual teachings. Ravi had heard of such wandering sages, but had never spoken to one in person. There was something about this man's presence that drew him in. Ravi approached the saint, his heart racing with both excitement and curiosity. He sat down next to the saint and asked him the question that had haunted him for years. What is the true purpose of life? The old man looked at him with a deep, penetrating gaze, and then replied in a calm voice. The purpose of life is to realize the divine presence within you. It is not in external things or circumstances that the truth of your existence lies. It is within you, always waiting to be discovered. This response pierced Ravi's heart in a way words could not describe. It was as if he had been looking outward for answers, while the answers had always been within him, waiting to be acknowledged. He knew in that moment that his life would never be the same again. The sage explained that the path to this realization was not easy. It would require dedication, discipline, and devotion. But it was possible for anyone who was willing to surrender their ego and attachment to the world. The sage emphasized the importance of finding a true spiritual teacher, someone who could guide Ravi on this path to inner awakening. Without a guide, the journey would be long, difficult, and filled with distractions. Ravi left the sage with a sense of purpose and determination. He knew that his quest had only just begun and that he would need to dedicate himself entirely to the search for the truth. From that day onward, he began to devote his time to meditation and introspection. He tried to silence his mind and connect with the divine presence within. But like all beginners, his mind was restless. Thoughts would constantly come and go, pulling him out of his state of awareness. Despite the challenges, Ravi persisted. He was not willing to give up. He knew that the journey would take time, but he was committed to following the inner path that had been revealed to him. He read scriptures and spiritual books, but no book could replace the lived experience of the divine. The role of meditation in awakening the soul. Ravi quickly discovered that meditation was the key to unlocking the inner truth. Meditation became not just a practice, but a way of life. However, this was not an easy path. The mind, which had been conditioned to focus on external distractions, was stubborn and unruly. In the beginning, Ravi struggled to find the stillness he so desperately sought. His mind wandered constantly, pulled by thoughts about his family, his studies, and his daily life. Every time he tried to meditate, he found himself becoming frustrated. It was in these moments of frustration that he learned one of the most important lessons on the spiritual path: the power of patience and perseverance. It was not the stillness of the mind that mattered most. It was the dedication to the practice itself. Meditation was not about achieving a state of perfect tranquility. It was about staying committed, despite the distractions, to the pursuit of inner peace. Over time, Ravi began to experience brief moments of calmness during his meditation sessions. These moments were fleeting, but they were enough to keep him going. He felt a deep sense of peace and connection, as if he was touching something sacred and divine. It was during these moments that Ravi realized that the true purpose of life was not about achieving success in the external world. It was about connecting with the divine presence within and experiencing life from a place of inner peace. One evening, after a particularly long meditation session, Ravi experienced something remarkable. As he sat in stillness, he suddenly felt a surge of energy rising from the base of his spine. This energy moved upward, filling his entire body with a sense of light and vitality. Ravi realized that he was experiencing the awakening of the inner energy, what is known in spiritual traditions as Kundalini. In that moment, Ravi understood that the divine energy was always present within him, waiting to be awakened. This was not just a theoretical concept. It was a lived experience that he could feel with every fiber of his being. Ravi realized that the divine was not separate from him. It was a part of him. This experience was a turning point in his spiritual journey. The importance of a true spiritual teacher. Although Ravi had made great strides in his spiritual practice, he knew that the journey was far from over. He had tasted the sweetness of inner peace, but he also understood that he needed guidance. The path to full realization could not be walked alone. He remembered the words of the sage who had told him that a true spiritual teacher was essential for his growth. Ravi now felt the deep longing to find such a teacher, someone who could guide him with wisdom, love, and compassion. He began his search for a true guru, a master who had transcended the ego and could show him the path to the highest truth. But finding a true teacher was not an easy task. Many people claimed to be spiritual teachers, but Ravi quickly realized that not all of them were what they seemed. Some were charlatans, pretending to have knowledge they did not possess. Others were well-meaning, but lacked the depth and clarity Ravi was seeking. Despite the many disappointments, Ravi refused to give up. He knew that the right teacher would come to him at the right time. His faith was unwavering. His heart remained open, ready to recognize the true teacher when the time came. Thank you for listening, and please like the video and subscribe for more great upcoming content that will put you in top 1% people in the world.